We had a major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for the weekend has failed. Any redevelopments will need to be ordered from the R&D screen.
Here are the top 5 cars as things stand. Leclerc, Norris, Piastri, Russell and Doohan. So, just ahead of us in this session at the moment are Perez, Zhu and Lawson. And just behind us are Hauger, Bottas and Magnussen. Currently the fastest lap is a 1:10.0. We don't have the data for that, I'm afraid.
Welcome along then to the North Sea coast and to the Zandvoort circuit. We're 25 miles away from Amsterdam for today's Dutch Grand Prix. It's a race the great Jim Clark won on 4 occasions, leading for an astonishing total of 370 laps. Zandvoort circuit has 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left, with plenty of steep camber and elevation changes to keep our drivers on their toes throughout the 2.6-mile lap. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Drugovich, Zhou, Albon, Verstappen, Doohan, Stroll, Perez, Hauger, Tsunoda, Ocon, Bottas, Liam Lawson, Daniel, Magnussen, Sargent, and Daniel Ricciardo fills the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. Alongside me to discuss all the action today is Anthony Davidson. Thanks for joining us, Ant, and tell me, you were down in the pit lane earlier. How do you think the track conditions are today?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of the temperatures they need to extract the best grip. So with a cold track surface, it's going to be harder to keep those temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
Okay, we've got that relief of having points on the board finally, so let's keep that form up and get another top 10 finish today, please. Right, let's get the car up to temperature on this lap, please. We're learning the gears, so let's go through them all if you can. Okay, good work. Great pass. DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. You're pulling out a second a lap on the car behind. Really good stuff. Okay, we're running low on fuel. Start lifting off the throttle a little before the braking points and letting the drag do some of the work in slowing you down. That'll help conserve the fuel you have left. Okay, focus. We need to stay on form. Push now. We're boxing this lap. Right, let's go, come on! That was a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting. Look after these tyres now, we want to finish the race on this compound. Okay, you're in the top 10. Okay, the gap behind is 2.1 seconds. Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps. And the gap behind us is 2.6 seconds. Okay, mate, this is the final lap of the race. Final lap. All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, they certainly stood out as a driver with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
Tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. Oscar Piastri will be very happy with that result as he extends his championship lead. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
But there's no question in my mind, it has to go to George Russell. What a performance. He's got every right to be proud of what he accomplished out there today.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
department wants me to pass on their thanks for helping out.
Top 5 cars as things stand: Leclerc, Drogovic, Piastri, Albon and Verstappen. Currently the fastest lap is a 1:18.4. We don't currently have the data for that request. Okay, there's been some damage to the floor. We recommend you come in so we can make repairs.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves once again of our top 3. Leclerc, Drogovic and Oscar Piastri. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix. Welcome to the home of the Parabolica, now known as the Curva Alboreto in tribute to the Italian motorsport legend Michele Alboreto. It's a long right-hander. It dares you to keep your foot as far down on the throttle as you possibly can. It's one of the great corners on the calendar, and we're here at Monza, ahead of the Italian Grand Prix. We're 12 miles northeast of Milan for today's Grand Prix at a Monza circuit where we can expect top speeds of around 215 miles per hour. 11 corners on this 3.6-mile track, with 7 of those coming in the form of chicanes. And with a good slipstream and DRS open, there should be plenty of opportunity for some passing here today. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And Felipe Drugovich completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Oscar Piastri, Albon, Verstappen, Norris, Joe, Russell, Daniel, Hauger, Perez, Stroll, Doohan, Bottas, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Ocon, Liam Lawson, Sargent, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the rundown into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep them focused on the moment and on their surroundings as we build towards the start of the Grand Prix.
Okay, we've got that relief of having points on the board finally, so let's keep that form up and get another top 10 finish today, please. Okay, so everything looks good on the power unit cycles, so let's concentrate on bringing tyres and brakes up to temperature. Watch out for the rear diffuser, it's taken a small hit, just be careful. Okay, you've got P5, P5. It's Verstappen ahead. Okay, gap to the car ahead is 2.3 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Norris is behind you. Okay, push, push. Gap to the car behind. 1.1 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, so gap to the leader is 3.8 seconds. You've got 11 laps until your pit window opens. And 26 laps to go now. The rear diffuser's taken a little damage, but the effect should be minimal for now. DRS is being enabled this lap. You can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Ferrari drivers just completed a pass for the lead of the race. Job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. The Red Bull drivers just moved into first place. Dropping a second a lap to the car behind, 1 second.
McLaren have pulled it off. They've won in spectacular fashion here today. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
And look at that, they're making their way out onto the podium now. Great race from the McLaren team, and I'm very happy to see them there on that top step of the podium. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Oscar Piastri will be very happy with that result as he extends his championship lead. Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Oscar Piastri gets my vote today.
Let's move on to the constructors. No change in the top spot then, but with today's points, their hold on that lead is getting weaker. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Okay, we've had the new parts come through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix. Our new parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend. Not an easy decision, but you handled it well. Thanks.